Yo, it's your boy J Best, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, episode 31. On today's episode, I will be talking about the NBA playoffs, okay, that starts tomorrow. The Nets and the 76ers have the first game at 12, and then the rest of the games will follow after that. I will be giving you my Western Conference Finals matchup, my Eastern Conference Finals matchup, and then who I think is going to make it to the finals. And I might even say who I think is going to win if I'm feeling bold enough. All right. And then after that, I'm going to break down each and every series in the first round. And I'm going to tell y'all who I think is going to win each and every matchup and in how many games I think they will win it in. But as always, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning and allowing me to talk about sports, which is something that I love to do. And without him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and get straight to the point. Um, it's the NBA playoffs, right? This is one of the most exciting times of the year. This and then, of course, January, whenever the NFL playoffs start. The difference is the NFL playoffs, look, you get one chance, right? If you're not your best self on that day and you lose, you go home. But in the NBA playoffs, I'm sorry, you get a second chance, you get a third chance, you get a fourth chance, really, because it's the first team to win 4 games. So I believe that the NBA finals are exciting because it's not as exciting as the NFL playoffs, right? But the NBA playoffs, I believe that it's all about adjustments, right? It's all about who can make the best adjustments, who can go into game one and then say, you know what, we didn't play them right, we're gonna play them this way, and then go into game two and see how you play them. If it works, keep playing like that. That don't work, make another adjustment. Right, so I think that's the beauty of the NBA playoffs because you get to see teams adjust and play the team differently than they did in game one, right? So let's go ahead and I'm gonna give y'all my before I break down each matchup. I'm just go ahead and skip to the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm gonna tell y'all who I think is gonna be the last four standing. I'm gonna start in the East. Okay, so remember earlier this year, I did say that it would be the Celtics and the 76ers. Of course, it depends on how it lined up, right? So for those of y'all that don't know, the Celtics are the second seed, the 76ers are the third seed, right? The second and third seed will see each other before the conference finals. So that leaves me to decide between the two. It makes it easier because guess what? I said it would be one of those two that will get into the finals. So it makes it a little easier, but I hate to see that matchup before the conference finals. I wanted to see those two battle it out to see who can represent the East in the championship. So it's going to come down to who wins that matchup. But I'm going with the Celtics, okay? I think the Celtics are a little deeper than the 76ers. I love Joel. I love how good he was this year. But I got to go with the deeper team, like I said, the team that has been there before, right? This Celtics team is coming from a finals appearance last year. They showed their inexperience in the finals, but now they have that experience. So now it's going to be even harder to beat them now that they've been there. And not only that, but they have a taste of it. So they want to get back. They want to get back to the finals and try to redeem themselves for what happened last year. Jason Tatum playing with a chip on his shoulder because a lot of people say he disappeared in the finals, and I believe he did too. But he was a young buck. He still is a young buck. And I think that he will redeem himself this year and get there. And not necessarily win it all, but I do think he will get there again. So I'm going to take the Celtics in that 76ers matchup. So I think it'll be the 76ers and the Celtics in the Eastern semifinals. And the Celtics will beat the Sixers. I'm gonna say in 7 games, okay. And then of course I got the Bucks as the other matchup. So my Eastern Conference Finals will be the Bucks and the Celtics. I'm going with the Celtics, okay. I think the Celtics, once again, being here before, done that. The Bucks have also been here before and done that because they was in the finals a couple years ago and they actually won. They beat the Suns, but I'm going with Jason Tatum over Giannis. I'm going with Jaylen Brown over Drew Holiday. I'm going with Derek White and Marcus Smart and Robert Williams, if healthy, of course, and Al Horford and Malcolm Brogdon and Grant Williams. And you see how I keep going. The Bucks team is a little deep too, but I do think the Celtics is just a better team over the Bucks. Okay, so I got the Celtics winning the East and going to the finals. All right, in the West, this is hard. Okay, I thought about this earlier, and it's really 2 teams. It's really 3 teams, right? That I think can get there: the Suns, the Warriors, and the Lakers. All right, but the way that the bracket is lined up, the Lakers is going to play the Warriors second round. Well, that's at least who I have winning. They have both of them winning their first round matchup, so they're going to end up playing each other in the second round. So I believe whoever wins that matchup is going to go to the finals, right? If I had to put money on it today, right now, I'm gonna go with the Lakers, okay? Only because, and once again, it's scary because the Warriors that's the team I fear the most in the West. But the Lakers, I think, are just built differently. I think they're built good enough to be able to win every single series leading up to the finals. So I got the Lakers, and like I said, whoever wins that series between the Lakers and the Warriors, that's who's going to go to the finals. Okay, I know the Suns got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but I don't think the Suns are deep enough. So I got the Suns getting to the Western Conference Finals. I have the winner of the Warriors and Lakers beating the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. But if I had to pick somebody today, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Lakers. Okay, I'm a huge LeBron fan, and I love AD, and I love Austin Reeves, what he brings to the table, and I love what Jared Vanderbilt brings to the table defensively. I love the way this team is built around LeBron. Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, Dennis Schroeder come off the bench and give you big minutes and give you big buckets. Rui Hachimura comes in and play good defense and also contributes on the offensive end. We've seen Austin Reeves. Surge into this. I'm not even gonna say he's a semi-star, right? We saw what he did when LeBron was hurt. He was out there putting up 25 points a game, something around there. So I do believe that the Lakers are deep enough, and it all comes down to Anthony Davis, right? How will he play? Will he be aggressive? Will he be passive? If he's aggressive, nobody can run with him, right? But I do believe that LeBron and AD is just that duo that I cannot bet against. I just can't do it. Okay, so I think the Lakers will end up beating the Warriors, and then they're gonna beat the Suns. So I got the Lakers and the Celtics, okay, in the finals, and I could be a little biased. I really could be, but I do think the Lakers can win it all this year. In all honesty, once again, it's just so hard to bet against. The Lakers are the only team that has a duo that are both top 10 players, right? You can argue that the Suns also have a duo with two top 10 players, but it depends on who you're talking to. Is Devin Booker in your top 10? And just because he's not in the top 10 don't mean he's a great player. I'm not. So for people that don't have him in their top 10, I completely understand because there's so many players in the league. But I can say for sure that AD and LeBron are certified. They are definitely in the top 10 NBA players in the league. So when you have a dynamic duo with two top 10 players, it's just very hard to bet against them. It just really is. So I just got to go with the Lakers to go all the way. I love the way they're built. I love the way they're structured. I love their defense. Look, they've been, the fourth best team in defense since the All-Star break, right? So I think the defense is, and that's also what helped them win that game against the Timberwolves the other night. And people are going to say, oh, they struggle against the Timberwolves, they best. They struggle. Why are you picking the Lakers to go all the way to the finals when they could barely beat injured and suspended? Well, Rudy Gobert was suspended. And the Timberwolves are missing players, so they're saying that, you know what, the Lakers barely beat them. Why would they go all the way? You saw their defense in the fourth quarter in the overtime, right? I think they only allowed 16 points in that span. They can turn up, right? And that's one thing that you're going to need in the playoffs is defense, because everybody can score. Every team in the NBA playoffs can score points. That's not a debate. It's about who can anchor down and play defense. That's what's going to lead teams to go as far as they can in the playoffs. Last year, the Celtics and the Warriors were the two best defensive teams in the playoffs. And guess what? They got to the finals. So I believe that it's all going to come down to defense, and the Lakers are built to play defense. And the way this roster is a bunch of players on the team that, guess what, is going to hold it down on the defensive side, that LeBron and AD cook on the offensive side. And I believe that the Lakers do have the best chance to go all the way and actually win the finals. So that is my grand scheme of things, the big picture. I do think LeBron will go ahead and get his fifth. And look, LeBron win the title this year. In this wild, wild west that KD came to, that Kyrie came to, right? That Kawhi Leonard is in, that Steph Curry is in, that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis in Sacramento is in, that who else we got? We got, of course, Chris Paul, KD, and Devin Booker. This same conference with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Same conference with all these different teams, Jokic and the Nuggets. If LeBron gets to the finals and wins, the GOAT debate is over with. Okay, I don't want to hear no more debates about Michael Jordan being the GOAT. I think LeBron, even though he had one less ring, if he gets there this year, due to the strength of the West, right? It's called the Wild Wild West because people are saying anybody can win it. Okay, that means that it's a lot of competition over there. So if LeBron can get there, then he is the GOAT, hands down, no questions asked. He just got to win it. All right. So now I'm about to give y'all each series, and I'm gonna break it down and try to tell y'all who I think is going to win that series and who I think is going to. How many games I think they're going to win in. So I'm gonna start with the 1-8 on both sides. On the left side, you got the Bucks and the Heat just won a couple minutes ago. Okay, I'm doing this episode as of right now. It's Friday night. So the Heat just won. And I did predict that they would win. I thought they would beat the Hawks, but they didn't. But they did end up getting the playoffs anyways because they, the play-in tournament. If you're the 7 or 8 seed, you get a second chance. If you lose the first game, you get a second chance to get in. 9 and 10, you got to win both games to get in. So the Heat lost to the Hawks, and then the Heat beat the Bulls tonight, and the Heat is going against the Bucks in the first round. I don't think he has a chance to win this series. I think the Heat are one of those teams that you just can't sleep on because of Jimmy Butler, because of Tyler Hero, because of Bam Adebayo. They have a nice little squad. The way they played against Atlanta was just horrible, right? So they play like that, they gonna get swept. But if they can just play that Heat, that Eric Spoelstra, that Pat Riley playoff basketball that we've seen them play over the past couple of years, I think they can make this series respectable, right? I do think they can end up. I'm not even gonna say 6. I'm gonna say 5. Okay, I'm gonna say 5 games because I think the Bucks is just better. And from what I've seen from the Heat over the past couple of weeks, it's not convincing me that they can win 2 games in this series, right? It's definitely not going to 7. Okay, and 6 I think is being a little bit too nice from what I've seen. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the Bucks are gonna win this series in 5 games. All right. So I got the Bucks over the Heat in 5 games. I think Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, there's just too much for the Miami Heat. All right. The next 1-8 game is being decided right now, right? So the Thunder and the Timberwolves are playing. I do think the Thunder will win this game, and because of that, I have the Thunder and going against the Nuggets, right? So it'll be the Nuggets versus the Thunder. And honestly, in this game, I do believe. I mean, this series. I'm sorry. I do think that the Thunder can steal a game or two. I'm not really scared of the Nuggets. Okay, the Nuggets don't scare me. Nikola Jokic does not scare me. Yes, he's a stat padding machine. Okay, and he has Jamal Murray. He has Michael Porter Jr. But this team is successful every year in the regular season. Gets to the playoffs and just is not. They're just not a playoff team. They're not built for the playoffs. I think Jokic is just a regular season player who's not going to put up those numbers that he put in the regular season in the playoffs. So I do think the Thunder can steal 2 games, especially when I can argue that SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is the best player in this series offensively. Okay, as a scorer, I do believe that Shea is the best player in this series, and I think that when you have the best scorer on the court by a mile, I do think that you have a chance to steal 1 or 2 games, whether it's at home or on the road. So I'm gonna say the Nuggets go win this series in 6, only because I think the Thunder don't have enough. They don't have enough to beat the Nuggets. Any other team in the conference, I do think they can beat the Nuggets, but I don't think the Thunder have enough. They already exceeded expectations, right? Nobody thought they would be here. Nobody thought they would be in the playoffs. People thought they would just tank for Victor, but they did it, and they actually played their butts off. They got to the play-in. They won the first game. They're playing right now. Like I said, I'm assuming they're gonna win this game, and I think they will get to the playoffs against the Nuggets, and they will lose. They gonna lose in 6 games. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and say I'm not gonna be bold and say that they're gonna beat the Nuggets. Okay, but they do. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if Thunder beat the Nuggets. But I do think it's gonna go to 6. I think that's gonna be a better series than a lot of people think. All right. So that's my 1-8 on both sides. I got the number 1 seed moving on to the next round. My 2-7s on both sides. We can start with the East. My 2-7 is the Celtics and the Hawks. All right. I don't think the Hawks have a chance. All right. I said that the Celtics gonna win this game, if this series in 5 games. Sorry, I think they're gonna win in 5 games. I think the Celtics just built differently. I do. I think that the Celtics, once again, they got that chip on their shoulder. They've been there last year, and they're trying to get back, and the Hawks are just in the way. Right? The Hawks beat the Heat. The Heat played terrible that night, so I think the Heat lost it more than the Hawks won it. Okay? But I think that they just don't have anything for Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They just don't. right? And they don't have a big that is dominant enough to give Robert Williams some trouble. I don't think Clint Capella is a scorer. Now, Capella had 20 rebounds the other night, but he only had 4 points. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have a good big man. All they have is Trae Young and DeJounte Murray to score their big buckets. And guess who? Guess who? The Celtics guards are. The Celtics are better at the guard position. They have Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, right? So if you're trying to go guard for guard against them, then you're gonna lose because they have like the best, one of the best backcourts in all of basketball. So I gotta go with the Celtics at 5. I don't think it's gonna be a good series at all. All right, the 2-7 in the West. The Lakers and the Bone Thugs and Harmony. Okay, that's who the Lakers going against. They're going against Bone Thugs and Harmony. All right, if y'all don't know, Bone Thugs and Harmony is a rap group from back in the day. That's who we're going against. A bunch of thugs. That's who it is. The Lakers are going against a bunch of thugs. Dylan Brooks already popping his chops, talking about he want LeBron in the first series. He would love to put LeBron out in the first series. First of all, Dylan Brooks, keep LeBron name out your mother. Y'all know the rest, okay? Keep his name out your mouth, all right? Because you, my friend, are Patrick Beverly wannabe, okay? You talk so much. Every time I see the Memphis Grizzlies in the headlines, it's because Ja Morant flashing guns, Dylan Brooks wearing something stupid to the game, or Dylan Brooks just running his mouth, talking trash, talking reckless. When he's won nothing, he's done nothing. He's like the fourth best player on the team, and that's just because after Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bain, it's a bunch of nobodies. Actually, I take that back. Steven Adams is on the team. He's hurt, but you're really the fifth best player on the team, talking the most noise out of anybody. Okay, if Ja Morant was talking, it would be a little different story, but you the one that's talking the most. You really get under my skin. You really tick me off. Like I said, you getting Patrick Beverly vibes. It's who you are. Patrick Beverly, okay? You talk trash for no reason. And then you want to talk trash to LeBron. LeBron coming to give y'all 30 game one. I promise you that. So I got the Lakers win this series in 5 games, okay? That's where I said it. The Lakers will win this series in 5 games. I think the Grizzlies are a joke, okay? They're another team that in the regular season, they're going to play their butts off and they get to the playoffs and their immaturity shows up and their lack of talent shows up. Ja Morant is nothing but an athletic Giannis. That's all he is. So guess what? You want to go to the paint? We have Anthony Davis down there. So have fun with that. Desmond Bain, he's a good shooter, right? But he doesn't really scare me like Klay Thompson and like Steph and like the other shooters around the league. All right, Jaren Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year, but he can't hold Anthony Davis. And then on top of all that, y'all don't have Steven Adams. Y'all don't have Brandon Clark. So Grizzlies, really, y'all are at a dead end, okay? You're not going further than this. You're losing in 5 games. At best, you might lose in 6, but you're not winning this series. I promise you that, especially because, like I said, Dylan Brooks popping his chops, talking about LeBron James, the GOAT. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Talk all you want, but guess what? You going out at 5. Like I said, the Lakers, I just love the way this roster is set up. I love Austin Reeves. I love Rui Hachimura. I love Dennis Schroeder. I love Malik Beasley. I love D'Angelo Russell when he's playing good. Of course, the other night he had a bad game. I love Jerry Vanderbilt on the defensive end. All right, I just love the way this team is structured. Okay, you got Mo Bamba that can come in and give you some nice minutes. You got Troy Brown, okay, who gets you good minutes. Right, he's not a great player, but he gives you some good minutes. You also have what's my man name? Lonnie Walker, my bad. Lonnie Walker, who doesn't even play. But when he does get in the game, give you some good minutes too, okay? So this team is deep. This Lakers roster is pretty deep. And of course, it's led by LeBron and Anthony Davis, okay? So I got to go with the Lakers in 5, okay? In 5 against the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, next, on my 3 and my 6 matchup in both conferences, the East is going to be the 76ers and the Nets. It's actually the first game of the playoffs tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Y'all make sure y'all wake up for this game. I'm not saying it's going to be a good series. I'm really not. I got the 76ers in 5, okay? I think the Nets are just too small. Joel Embiid about to have a field day against this team. And if the 76ers really want to prove that they are a threat this year, all right, I love Doc Rivers. I love Joel. I love this version of James Harden, right? This version of James Harden is really playing team basketball. He's playing his role. Okay, I think Tobias Harris can give them a lift every now and then. I love Tyrese Maxey. I respect PJ Tucker, okay, as a defender, and then in the corner, that's his shot. I think this team needs to set the tone. Okay, come out, win in 5 against the Nets, who has no. First of all, the Nets had no business being here, so I want to give a shout out to their coach. I think his name is Jacque Vaughn, whatever his name is. I want to give you a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Mikal Bridges, who's having the season of his life. Okay, when they traded for him, I did not think they was getting a scorer. I thought all Mikal Bridges did was shoot threes, but play defense, a 3-and-D kind of guy. But he came to the Nets and just took over. He looked like Kevin Durant in the Nets with the Nets. No disrespect to Kevin Durant, but that's what he looks like, all right? So I got to go with the 76ers in this series. The Nets just don't have enough. They're too little. Okay, so Joel Embiid about to eat all day, so I got the 76ers in 5. All right, my next 3 and 6 matchup in the West is the Warriors and the Kings. Look, I don't understand why people think that the Warriors are just, like, they haven't been here before. I don't understand. I keep watching all these sports shows and people saying, oh, Kings, like the beam, the Kings. Look, the Kings had a good season. They surprised everybody. Mike Brown, Coach of the Year, well deserved. Okay, you have a young team with young talent, and y'all did what nobody thought y'all would do. They had like the biggest jump from last year's wins to this year's wins. Okay, but it ends here. Okay, you're going against a team that's been there, done that. This is when the Warriors shine brightest. Whenever they're in front, when they're in the playoffs, all right, you're going to get Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. That's enough said. I don't have to go past that because those 3 players, I'm more scared of those 3 players than any other 3 players in the league combined. All right, I'm a LeBron fan. I've sat there through those Cavaliers series and I've watched this Warriors team very closely. And they're just not a team to mess around with. They're not a team to sleep on either. So I think the Warriors really have a chance to win it all this year. It just depends on if they can beat the Lakers or not in the second round. All right, but the Warriors, I have nothing but respect for y'all. I'm not one of these stupid analysts that's going around saying that the Warriors are done, all because of this stupid little 11-30 road record, all because people are saying that that Draymond it was a distraction throughout the year, okay, and they're saying that they can't flip the switch. I don't understand none of that. All I know is this team has won a road game in at least at least one road game in 27 straight playoff series. Okay, so they can come into this series, they can steal a game in Sacramento, and it's over with because they're not losing at home. I don't see the Kings going on the road and winning. Okay, so I do think the Warriors can win this series in 6 games. I'm only respecting the Kings because the Kings can score. I love Sabonis. Okay, I respect De'Aaron Fox. All right, I like Keegan Murray, what he can do from a 3-point line. I like what Kevin Huerter can do from 3-point line. I like this team. Malik Monk comes in, gives you some nice minutes. I like this team, no doubt. But I just don't think that they have enough to beat the Golden State Warriors, who's been here, who's done that. People gonna sit here and just break down all the stats, saying that and earlier I heard people saying the Kings had the second best road record since in the league, second best road record in the league. Right? They got the best offense in the league. I don't care about none of that. The Warriors have been here. They've done that. They have experience. Okay, it's simple. Right, if you're in the military, you got this young dude coming in, think he can shoot like nobody, like no other, but you got a 30-year vet, right? Who you gonna get a gun to for the last shot? You'll give it to the young buck. You'll give it to the old head. Know what he doing. You'll give it to the old head. I know I kind of threw that analogy in there on the fly. Okay, I told you I don't rehearse these episodes. I just come out and I talk and I hit the play button. I talk, I hit the stop button. Okay, so that analogy was kind of off. Okay, but you get what I'm saying. You're gonna trust the more experienced veteran, or you gonna trust the least experienced, the young people that haven't been there yet. You know what I'm saying? Experience means a lot in basketball, football, anything. Experience means a lot. Okay. So I got to go with the Warriors in 6. And then, of course, I got to respect the matchup between Mike Brown and Steve Kerr, right? Mike Brown really knows the Warriors inside out, so that could really help the Kings. But at the end of the day, you're going to get Steph, Klay, and Draymond, right? So the Kings had a great season, but it ends in the first round, okay? Next, I got the 4 and the 5. This is the last matchups I'm talking about. In the East, the 4 and the 5 is the Cavs and the Knicks. This might be the best playoff series in the first round, hands down, no questions asked, because these two teams are almost equal. Notice I said almost. Okay, I think when it comes to being a superstar, of course, the Cavs got Donovan Mitchell. Jalen Brunson has entered that superstar atmosphere, but he's not on the same level as Donovan Mitchell, right? And I've been very critical the past couple of years, Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, I do think. But it's just because he was the Jazz, and the Jazz kept getting there and losing the first, second round. But I do think that Donovan Mitchell is better than Jalen Brunson, no doubt. I do think he is an all-star because he is, right? But then you got Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and then you got Jared Allen. Okay, those four, that's a nice four. Okay, I talked about the Warriors three, but they have a nice four. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle's a little nicked up. I heard he's not 100% healthy, but RJ Barrett playing good. Okay, Emmanuel quickly playing good off the bench. Right, you got Mitchell Robinson holding down in the middle. I do think this is a very equal series, but I'm going with the Cavs in 7. All right, no disrespect to the Knicks, but I think the Cavs, they just have a little bit more. Okay, when it comes to that superstar, in Donovan Mitchell, and then of course Darius Garland is also an ascending superstar in this league. So I got to go with the Cavs in 7. That should be a very gritty, a very ugly, bloody, like a bloodbath. That's what kind of series I'm looking for in the Knicks and the Cavs. All right. Next, the next 4 and 5 is the Clippers and the Suns. Honestly, I don't think there's gonna be much of a series either. Okay, I don't. I'm not gonna bet against Devin Booker and KD until they play a team that I think can beat them. Right, the Warriors or the Lakers. But looking at this series, the Clippers to me just don't have enough, right? I see Kawhi, right? They had Paul George. I might have said Suns in 6, Suns in 7, right? But I think it's gonna be Suns in 5. Okay, I'm not really scared of the Clippers. I'm not. I think Russ is gonna play good. He's gonna play hard, but at the end of the day, right? You don't have KD on your team. At the end of the day, you don't have Devin Booker on your team. At the end of the day, you don't have a Chris Paul on your team. You don't have a DeAndre Ayton on your team. I did argue earlier that I'm not picking the Suns to go to the finals because they don't have enough depth, in my opinion. They don't have players that I trust coming onto the court and making plays. But against the Clippers, I do think they have enough. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Suns. I might be a little too harsh by saying 5, so it might be 6, but my gut is saying Suns in 5. But I'm not saying all these games gonna be blowouts. So the games that I picked, the series that I picked in 5, like the Celtics series and the Lakers series and the Suns series, I'm not saying they're gonna just bash their heads in, right? But I do think they're gonna win those series is very quick. It's gonna be some nice games, but I do think that those 3 series are gonna be over in 5. All right, and of course, 76ers series over in 5. But that is it for this episode. I told you I was talking about the NBA playoffs, and I will be doing little videos on my Instagram following the games on in the playoffs. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, whether it's after every single game or waits like every 2 games, whatever. But y'all check out IG. Y'all stay tuned in. I will be doing little short videos about the games in the playoffs after. So just a reaction and a recap of each game. All right. But much love. I'm out. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all watch these playoffs. All right. Y'all enjoy. Try not to put anything in your schedule because it's a lot of good basketball coming your way. And y'all make sure y'all enjoy it because after this is over, you know, it's that little chunk, that little gap between now and the NFL season. All right. So y'all make sure y'all enjoy. Stay blessed. Much love. I'm out.